Hello everyone and welcome back for some more Drag Race gossip, secrets and drama. So I'm back for another Roscoe's recap, and this viewing party was for season 15 episode 14, which was the semi-final. And the guests were Ametra, who won Drag Race Down Under season 1, and also Anetra wigl'it, who also competed on Drag Race Down Under season 1, as well as Canada vs the World. And if you want to watch the full viewing party, I'll put a link in the description. Today we're going to be talking about why a crew member got fired on Drag Race Down Under after breaking the rules, Naysha Lopez spills backstage tea about her elimination on season 8, and did a backup dancer break their leg at the season 15 finale during Anetra's number? All that and more coming up in today's video, so let's get started. Please note that because we're going to be talking about the outcome of certain episodes of Drag Race, there is a spoiler alert in place for this video. Naysha started off by talking about the fact that there has not been that much drama on season 15, and Keita said that it's difficult to know what the season is really like because Drag Race is highly edited. And this then led Naysha to ask Keita and Anetra whether in Drag Race Down Under season 1 the drama was overplayed or underplayed. Both Keita and Anetra said that they felt like the drama was accurately portrayed on their season, and then Anetra jokingly said, quote, "The worst thing was Simone coming back." Keita then said, quote, "There's some sweet tea about that," but then she said that she wasn't sure if she was able to talk about it or not. Just to explain, on Drag Race Down Under season 1, Simone was eliminated in episode 2, which was quite a shock because Art is really well known and respected in Australia. But then Art was brought back into the competition in episode 4, and there was never really a reason given as to why she was brought back. And Naysha and the other hosts asked what was the reason that Art was brought back, and Keita said, quote, "Something happened behind the scenes, and let's just say they couldn't put the season to air without correcting a certain something." And then Keita said, quote, "And then because favours had to be made, Queens came back on the season, that's my opinion." And neither Keita nor Anetra would give any full details. However, some of you may already know this, but I actually interviewed Coco Jumbo on my channel a while back, who also competed on Drag Race Down Under season 1, and she was the one who sent Art home in the lip sync. I asked Coco Jumbo what really happened, because Art had once tweeted saying that they had to be brought back to reshoot their lip sync because they lost the footage, but she quickly deleted the tweet. And Coco confirmed that the rumour was in fact true. I'll put a link in the description to the full clip, so make sure you go and check that out. But basically, Coco said that the show lost the audio of the lip sync, so she and Art were brought back after their eliminations so that they could reshoot the lip sync, and they had to do it several times. And this was some quite major tea because this rumour had never been publicly confirmed before, and several news outlets even picked up the story after our interview. Anyway, Naysha then talked more about the issue of bringing girls back, and Naysha talked about her own experience on season 8 when she was eliminated in the first episode, but was then brought back in the third episode. And Naysha then seemingly referred to the lip sync that happened the week after she was eliminated, which was between Layla McQueen and Dax exclamation point, which resulted in a double elimination. And Naysha said, quote, "It was a really bad lip sync, and it was very like they sat there and like, we just sent this continental girl home and then we got this lip sync." And it appears that Naysha was inferring that the producers may have brought her back to the competition because they had made a mistake by eliminating her in the first episode to keep another contestant who then went home the next week. Naysha then explained that she travelled the entire way home after her elimination, and when she arrived back home, the producers called her and said that if they could bring her back, would she be interested in that? Apparently the producers weren't sure if it was definitely going to happen, but they called Naysha back very shortly after and said that she was definitely being brought back, and Naysha said that she hadn't even unpacked her things yet. Naysha also said that she, quote, "switched a few things and took a few outfits out and brought some new stuff back with her when she returned to film Drag Race." Naysha then said that sometimes the producers make mistakes when they send home queens with a big following, like Simone, which is why they decide to bring them back. And Keita agreed and said that it made for good television and that she's friends with Art and she can see why Art was brought back. They then talked about this week's challenge, which was the queens had to write their own verses to RuPaul's song Blame It on the Edit. And in the episode, they showed the queens learning the choreography, and then they had to record the music video right away. Naysha then said, quote, "I mean, this is where I get in trouble and I get emails," and everyone started laughing. Naysha said that sometimes they make it look like the queens don't really get to rehearse that much, but in reality they do get to rehearse more than they show in the episode. Naysha also said, quote, "They do not want to set anyone up for failure, they don't want anyone to look a fool." They then moved on and started talking about Drag Race Down Under Season 1, and Naysha brought up that the show was filmed in New Zealand even though the majority of the queens were from Australia. Keita explained that the show was commissioned by Warner Bros. New Zealand, so the show was always supposed to be filmed in New Zealand. Keita also said that because the season was filmed during COVID times, all of the queens flying from Australia had to quarantine for 10 days before filming, whereas the New Zealand queens didn't. And Anetra said that the studio where they filmed the show was only a 10-minute drive from where she lived, and Anetra joked that after her elimination, she just walked home. They then moved on to the runway for this week, and host Batty Davis pointed out that Luxx, Sasha and Anetra were wearing two-piece outfits, and Batty said, quote, "So they're ready to lip-sync." And Naysha talked about Luxx Noir London's runway and said, quote, "I don't know if you clocked this or not, but what they kept showing of Luxx was the same thing over and over again. I think she might have had difficulty walking in it." But Naysha said that Luxx's outfit was white and it didn't really show up that well on camera, and then she said, quote, "The stage is silver, girl, white don't stand out on silver." And Keita made the point when referring to Mistress Isabelle Brooks's outfit and said that on stage in real life that outfit would be great because of the beautiful beading and sequins, however on TV you don't really get the same sparkle. Keita also said that a lot of queens make this mistake on Drag Race and their outfits don't show up properly on camera. Naysha said it's because the camera goes in and out of focus, and Naysha said, quote, "When there's too much bling and it hits it, the camera is continuously trying to focus, so it goes in and out of focus." And Naysha said that that's why they have to change the lighting in the background so much to try and take away focus from the camera having to put in all of that extra work. They then moved on to the critiques, and they brought up the moment where Ross said that although Mistress is a bigger queen, she's never the butt of the joke. But Keita brought up that moment in the music video where they showed Mistress starfishing in space, and host Caramel asked if she thought that was shady of production to do that. And Keita said that she thought it was weird that they made that comment about Mistress not being the butt of the joke being a bigger girl, but then they included that shot of Mistress starfishing. Anetra then said that she thought Mistress got the worst critiques, and Keita said that everyone else got quite specific comments, whereas Mistress's critiques were very generic. Batty then said that the queens didn't think there was enough drama on the season, and Naysha made the point that the queens who now get cast for the seasons are very aware of what they're doing, and they know that they'll get hate online, so they are very careful about what they're doing and saying on the show. Naysha used Mistress as an example and said, quote, "Mistress says a lot of shady bleep, and then you guys want to call her a bully. It's not a bully, baby. You enjoyed it the whole mother effing season, so don't come here and call her a bully now when all she was doing was giving you good TV." Keita then made the point that a lot of the fans who call the queens out online are not doing it because they are justice warriors, but because it gives them satisfaction to call people out, and they're doing it to have fun themselves. And she said that some of the fan base are, quote, effed up. And Naysha said that Drag Race is a TV show first and a competition second, so we should just enjoy the show and the entertainment that it brings. Caramel then asked Keita what the perception of Courtney Act is in Australia, and Keita said that Courtney is a household name in Australia. And Naysha asked why they didn't ask Courtney to host Drag Race Down Under instead of RuPaul, and Keita joked and said, quote, "because they dangled the coins in front of RuPaul." They then got to the part of the episode where Sasha won the episode, and the lip sync between Mistress and Anetra resulted in a double save. And Naysha got the audience to clap for the season 15 queens for giving us a great season. Naysha then said that they were filming the reunion on the same day that Roscoe's viewing party was happening, which was on the Friday, and that the finale was being filmed the next day on Saturday. And then, on the Saturday after the finale was taped, a rumour started circulating online that apparently one of the backup dancers had broken their leg on stage during Anetra's number at the finale. And some people were even saying that Anetra had apparently kicked the dancer accidentally during the number, and that's why they had broken their leg. However, Naysha Lopez tweeted on Sunday and said that this rumour was not true. Naysha said, "One of the dancers hurt himself. A dancer did not break his leg at the RuPaul's Drag Race finale. He was in all the girls' numbers and they had to modify everyone's final number, not just Anetra's. Kudos to the dancers for being so professional. Also, the internet is wild, shaking my head." And a user replied to Naysha's tweet and asked if it was a lie that Anetra kicked the dancer, and Naysha said that it was a lie. Anyway, back to Roscoe's, and while they were discussing the reunion and the finale, there was some confusion as to which day the reunion and the finale were being taped. And someone in the audience implied as though the reunion was being filmed after the finale, but the host said that the reunion was taping on Friday and the finale was taped on Saturday. However, I thought this was an interesting point because some of you may not know this, but sometimes the reunion is actually filmed after the finale, which is not what you would expect. For example, I have talked about this in a video previously, but there's a rumour that they filmed the season 9 reunion after they had filmed the finale. So, Shea Coulee and Trinity the Tuck knew that they hadn't won because they had already been knocked out in the first round of lip syncs at the finale. But at the reunion, they still had to tape the moment where RuPaul asks the audience who of the finalists they are rooting for in the finale, even though 2 of the 4 of them knew that they had already not won because they'd already filmed the finale. And some people have even suggested that this is why some of the queens were quite vocal at the season 9 reunion, which caused a lot of drama. However, this is just a rumour and I couldn't find any concrete evidence to support this. And season 10 contestant The Vixen apparently confirmed in a DM message that appeared online that the season 10 reunion was filmed after the reunion as well. They then moved on to the audience Q&A, and an audience member asked which of the judges on Drag Race they would replace. Naysha said that she would like to see more representation on the judges panel, and she said that T.S. Madison should be a permanent host. Naysha also said that she thinks that other drag queens should be judges because they know what it's like to do drag and be on the show. But Batty then asked Naysha if she would be truly okay getting criticism from another Drag Race girl. Naysha then said it depends on who it was, and Naysha then said, quote, "I don't," and then she paused and said, quote, "I'm not going to say it." And everyone started laughing, and then Naysha said that she wasn't going to say what she wanted to say, and everyone started shouting out in the audience telling Naysha to say it. Naysha then said, quote, "If there is a drag queen judging us, she has to have the resume. We can't have a Serena Cha-Cha judging a Bianca Del Rio," and then the audience started laughing. And Naysha then said, quote, "Are you going to tell me that Serena Cha-Cha can judge Sasha Colby?" And then Naysha said that unlike some of the other judges, at least Serena knows what it's like filming the show and knows what it's like to be under the pressure of the competition. And finally, an audience member then asked how Keita and Anetra, quote, "let loose" in their hotel rooms when they were filming Drag Race Down Under Season 1. And Anetra joked that she just masturbated without porn because they didn't have internet access. And Anetra said that they did have TV on Drag Race Down Under Season 1, but when they filmed Canada vs. the World, they were given a USB drive that had lots of movies and TV shows on it. And Keita said that on Drag Race Down Under Season 1, they were really strict and they even disconnected the internet from the hotel TVs so they couldn't use the remote control to access Google. Anetra then said, quote, "There was that one guy that let us have dinner together, but he got fired." Keita said that that guy wanted to sleep with all of the queens, but he was only successful with one person, and Keita said that she was the one who slept with him. Keita also said that he then got herpes, however it wasn't clear if all of that was a joke or not. So I actually decided to ask Anetra whether this was a joke or not, and Anetra confirmed that there was indeed a queen care worker during Drag Race Down Under Season 1 who let the queens have dinner together, and he apparently got fired because of it. And Anetra said that the part about Keita sleeping with this queen care guy was actually a joke as far as she is aware. So there you go, there was the Roscoe's recap for Season 15, Episode 14. If you'd like early access to my videos before they go on YouTube, as well as shoutouts in my videos, priority when submitting interview questions, and also getting access to my archived videos, you can join my Patreon for just a few dollars a month to unlock these incredible benefits. I'll put a link in the description. And I'd also like to give a shout out to Kristen, who recently joined my Patreon in the You're a Winner Baby tier. Thank you so much, and thank you to all of my Patreons as well. Your support is incredible and it really makes a huge difference to my channel. So, what did you think of the semi-final episode? And who do you predict will win season 15? Let me know in the comments. Please make sure you like, comment and share this video as it really helps support my channel. And of course, please make sure you hit the subscribe button to stay up to date about new uploads. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll join me again in future videos. Thank you, bye!